to Burb Science Show. Today we'll be discussing waves. First, let's go over what a wave is. A wave is a physical phenomenon characterized by frequency, wavelength, and amplitude. Some waves go through objects and can be easily seen, while others, such as light or sound waves, can travel without being seen. All waves transfer energy from place to place. So now that we know what a wave is, let's go over some general wave categories. The three main types of waves are longitudinal, transverse, and surface waves. Now, to me, an example of each. So, an ocean wave, which is probably the most common type of wave, commonly known, I guess you could say, what is a surface wave. A chord on a ukulele or a guitar or a string instrument would be a longitudinal wave, and just the vibration of a string on one of those instruments would be a transverse wave. Some general wave vocabulary includes mechanical waves, a wave that needs a medium to travel, electromagnetic waves, a wave that travels through a vacuum, sine waves, a continuous wave that represents periodic motions, standing waves, a system of vibrations where points remain fixed while others between them vibrate until the maximum with the maximum amplitude, bow waves, progressive disturbances propagated through a fluid, shock waves, propagating disturbance that moves faster than the local speed of sound in the medium. Radio waves, electromagnetic wave of a frequency of about 104 and 1011 or 1012 Hz, as used for long-distance communication. Microwaves, an electromagnetic wave used to heat things such as food. Infrared waves, an electromagnetic wave with a wavelength just greater than the red end of the visible color spectrum. X-rays, an electromagnetic wave of high energy and very short wavelength, which is able to pass through many materials opaque to light. Gamma rays, penetrating electromagnetic radiation of any kind arising from the radioactive decay of atomic nuclei. So this is going to be some more common wave vocabulary that you kind of need to know to have a grasp of waves. Source of wave. The source of a wave's motion, vibration, and oscillation of the parts of a fluid or elastic solid whose equilibrium has been disturbed. Wave. A physical phenomenon characterized by its frequency, wavelength, and amplitude. Wave pulse. Non-periodic waveform that typically has one major crest. Frequency. The rate at which something occurs or is repeated over a particular period of time or in a given sample. Period. An interval of time between successive occurrences of the same state in an oscillatory or cyclic phenomenon. Wavelength. The distance between successive crests of a wave, especially points in a sound wave or electromagnetic wave. Crest. The point on a wave with a maximum value of upward displacement within a cycle. Trough. The point on a wave with a minimum value of downward displacement within a cycle. Rest/home position. An object being stationary relative to a particular frame or reference or another object. Amplitude. The maximum extent of a vibration or oscillation, measured from the position of equilibrium. Resonance. The reinforcement or prolongation of sound by reflection from a surface or the sonorous vibration of a neighboring object. Rarefaction. Diminution of the density of something, especially in air or gas. Speed. The rate at which someone or something is able to move or operate. Electromagnetic spectrum. The range of wavelengths or frequencies over which electromagnetic radiation extends. Next is a section that is also very highly recognized because it is in our day-to-day day-to-day lives, and that section is music. In this section, we are going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to show examples of most of the following words, starting with sound. An example of sound could be a crash of something falling, or what you would hear when you pluck a guitar string or almost any instrument string. Pitch, a higher or lower frequency. Force vibration, when a washing machine shakes due to imbalance. Natural frequency, a good example of natural frequency and resonance is swings. Loudness, how loud something is. Decibels, a way to measure loudness. Ultrasound, the use of ways to take pictures of the inside of a body. Infrasound, some animals, such as whales, elephants, and giraffes, communicate using infrasound over long distances. Timbre, the quality given to a sound by its overtones. Music, a combination of sounds arranged usually in a way that is nice or pleasing to hear. Noise, things such as background noise or a combination of things that might not be as pleasing as music. Acoustics, an acoustic guitar relies on the room's acoustics to sound the way it's supposed to. Beat, a repeated sound that could be found throughout a song. Now, for a speed round about some words that didn't exactly fit into the last few categories. Simple harmonic motion, periodic motion or oscillation, where the restoring force is directly proportional to the displacement and acts in the direction opposite of that displacement. Radar, detection system that uses radio waves to determine range, angle, or velocity of objects. Gamma rays, ionizing electromagnetic radiation obtained by the decay of an atomic nucleus. Interference, combination of two or more electromagnetic waveforms to form a resultant wave in which the displacement is either reinforced or cancelled. Constructive and destructive interference. When two waves meet in such a way that their crests line up together, then it's called constructive interference. In destructive interference, the crest of one wave meets the trough of another. Node, a point along a standing wave where the wave has a minimum amplitude. Antinodes. Antinodes are where the amplitude is a maximum halfway between the two adjacent nodes. Compression. Compression is a region in a longitudinal wave where the particles are closest together. Doppler effect, the change in frequency of a wave in relation to an observer who is moving relative to the wave source. That's all for the speed round. Now let's go to our final section. Light, or light waves. First, let's start off with the visible light. Visible light is an electromagnetic radiation visible to human eyes. Ultraviolet light, electromagnetic radiation with wavelengths shorter than the visible light spectrum. Light, electromagnetic radiation. Radiation, emission of energy as electromagnetic waves or as a moving subatomic particles, especially high energy particles which cause ionization. Non-ionizing radiation, any type of electromagnetic radiation that does not carry enough per quantum to ionize atoms. Ionizing radiation, radiation consisting of particles, X-rays or gamma rays with sufficient energy to cause ionization in the medium through which it passes. Alpha particles, a fast-moving packet containing 2 protons and 2 neutrons. Beta particles, a high-energy, high-speed electron or positron emitted by the radioactive decay of an atomic nucleus during the process of beta decay. Transparent materials, a material that cannot be seen through. Opaque materials, a material that can not be seen through. Shadow, a dark area or shape produced by a body coming between rays of light and a surface. Umbra, the fully shaded inner region of a shadow cast by an